Hello, welcome to St Anne's Catholic Primary School. This video will explain how division is taught at St Anne's. There are 3 other videos available for you to look at: addition, subtraction and multiplication. Our math scheme of work is called Inspire Maths, and our calculation policy is based on the principles of Singapore Maths, which is the CAP approach: the concrete, the pictorial and the abstract. As you can see in our calculation policy, this is split up into concrete, pictorial, abstract. The concrete for our first learning objective here is sharing in division. So as you can see, we have 6 shared between 2. So we have 6 multi-link cubes, and then it's shared one at a time into 2 groups. That's how we begin teaching division right from reception. Then we move on to the pictorial, which you can see here is 6, which is shared into 2 equal groups. Now it's very, very important that the word equal comes in there, equal groups. Then we move on to the abstract. 6 divided by 2 equals 3. This is generally started in Book 1, Inspire Maths, which is Year 1. You can see here as well, they use the bar model to show how the 6 can be divided into 2 equal groups. We then move on to understanding division as repeated grouping and subtraction. Now I've crossed out the number line method because we don't teach this using the number line method, but the children do need to understand that division is repeated subtraction. It can be repeated subtraction. So we've got 6 as the whole, we take away 2, take away 2, take away 2, and that's 3 times. We then move on to a 2-digit number divided by a 1-digit number, which leaves remainders. Now you can see here on the lollipop sticks, we have 13 divided by 4. We've got 13 sticks shared into 4, which is 3 groups, remainder 1. You can see this using the Cuisenaire as well. And then we move on to the pictorial, where the children physically draw this in their books. And again, I have crossed out the number lines because that is not what we teach in Inspire Maths in St Anne's. We then move on to 2-digit numbers divided by a 1-digit number, and you can see the concrete here is using base 10. So we have 48 divided by 4. We've got the 4 tens there and the 8 ones, and that is divided into 4 equal groups, which is 12 in each group. Then into the pictorial, the children will draw this using 10 sticks and 1s, and then onto the abstract, we use the part whole model here. 4 tens divided by 4 equals 1 10, and then we've got 8 ones divided by 4 equals 2 ones, so 10 plus 2 equals 12. Then we move on to sharing using place value counters. We have 42 divided by 3, which is 14. We've got 42 in total, and that is shared 3 different times. How many in each group? And you can see we've got 14 here. This needed to be regrouped as well, which gets a little bit more complicated, maybe into Year 2, Year 3 by this point. Then we go on to the pictorial, so the children are drawing it here, and you can see how they're regrouping one of the 10s into 10 ones in order to be able to share it out equally. Then we go on to the abstract, 42 divided by 3, so we've got 42, we partitioned it into 3 10s and 12 ones, so we can share it equally. Then we divide 3 10s into 3 groups, which is 10, and then 12 ones into 3 groups, which is 4, and then we add those 2 together. We then move on to short division, which historically has been called the bus stop method. You can see how this is done using the place value counters initially. So we have 615 divided into 5 separate groups. So we make 615, then we circle your groups of 5, so we get them into groups of 5, each column into groups of 5. Now we do it for the first 100, but we've got 100 left over. So then we regroup that into 10 tens, and then we circle groups of 5 in our 10s, which leaves 1 group left over again, and we regroup that into 10 ones, and we circle groups of 5, which leaves 3 groups of 5 in the ones, which leaves the answer of 100, because we've got 1 group in the 100 circle, 2 groups in the tens, and 3 groups in the ones, 123. Now this can be represented pictorially, where the children do it themselves in their books, and then onto the abstract, which is the bus stop method. 615 divided by 5, and you can see here how we needed to regroup and how that is written in the abstract method. Then we have some examples of different ways you can ask your child to solve those types of questions, more reasoning, more getting the children to think outside the box a little, using the part whole method here. And then we go on to word problems, and then we've got missing number problems, which is the beginning of algebra really, and then on to, again, what's a calculation, what's the answer. Now the final section of our division calculation policy is long division here. Now you can see how we teach long division at St. Anne's. The concrete way, it's again 2,544 divided by 12. So we need to divide each section into 12 groups. So in the thousands there isn't enough, so we have to partition that into 10 hundreds. Then we regroup 2,000 for 20 hundreds. Then we move on to the tens, and you can see it goes on and on and on down to the ones. And that is physically what is happening when the children go on to learn the abstract method. So you can see in the abstract long division method, the children are regrouping the 2,000s for 20 hundreds, as you can see written there. So we now have 25 hundreds, and we can group 12 into 25 2 times, and then that's written underneath 24, but we've got 100 left over, which is written underneath. Then we move on to regrouping the 100 for 10 tens, and how many groups of 12 can I make with 14 tens? And you can see how it's done step by step by step, all the way down to we have none left. And the answer is 212. Please take note how this is written, as this is how it's taught right from in SATs for year 6, basically, the long division method. I hope you found the video informative, and please have a look at our other 3 videos on addition, subtraction and multiplication. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to come and ask me or come and speak to any of the teachers in school. Thank you.